that I thought were really, really special for me. And I'll talk about some of the actual wins and losses, but those aren't necessarily at the top of my list. One of the things I'm really proud of, and most of them are here today, is the hiring and development of our young coaches and staff. I mean, you look here at Mike Mignano, Steve Picucci, John Coles. I'm sorry, I can't claim you, T. You can claim young. You can claim young. Yes, we'll keep you on that side, but I can't say that I was smart enough to make that hire. But that type of thing, you know, Alex Palladino. I mean, both Mike and Alex were just voted as regional coaches of the year, and you know, that type of thing I'm really proud of. Brad Bedortha. You know, nobody knew anything about him, and he was coach of the year the first year he coached, and certainly the success that he brought our golf programs in a northern climate is pretty much unprecedented. And so I'm proud of that. I'm proud of the positive experience that we've been able to provide our student athletes. I think Bob mentioned it in his comments and quotes. You know, when it's all said and done, we'll remember. And I'm proud of these things. You know, I'm proud of making it to the Elite Eight in hockey with Milam and Kunitz and the boys. I'm proud of the football success we had in the 90s. And I'll get into some of the other ones here in a moment. But you know, when it's all said and done, and we bring those guys back from that Kunitz team, yeah, they're going to be talking somewhat about the games, but more importantly, they're going to talk about the experiences that they had. And all the memories that they've got. And those are the things that I think I'm the most proud of, is that we provided a way in which that could happen. And so that I'm proud of. I'm proud of the fact, you know, and some of this is in the press release, but, you know, we've had a top 35 finish in the Directors' Cup for the last 6 years. You know, when you look at what we have available to us here in Ferris, to be able to say that is incredible. And it's because of all these folks right here and the work that they do. So that's just amazing. We've had 2 of the last 3 male Division II student athletes of the year. All of Division II, all sports, we've had 2 of the last 3 come from Ferris State University. Student athletes. You know, I'm proud of that. God bless Rob for all the research he did, but 14 of our 15 teams have been in the NCAA tournaments, with 5 of those having their highest finish ever. That's tremendous. We've always been in the top half of the GLIAC President's Cup race, and that consistency, the consistency we've had in softball, in golf, in tennis of every year, and we've had coaches that are there, you know, and have been there a few times, and that's a great thing. But when you think about how many times in a row these guys have been in the NCAAs. Tia went back this year for the first time in how many years, Tia? 3? 4? And we talked about, you know, what a tremendous thing that was to get back there, because it's so difficult to achieve that. And so, and I know I hate to even start listing some of this stuff, because I'm sure I'm leaving something out, but those are all things that I'm really, really proud of.
Well, if you could, in all your experiences, give some advice to the incoming athletic director, whether it's Keri, whoever is hired, what would you tell them as far as the nature of this particular job and what they need to do to succeed?
Follow your heart. Don't be afraid to speak up for what you believe in. Be ready to work your tail off. Don't be afraid to do anything. I don't know, Dave, what did we have to do? Take dog doo-doo off the field one night to carry an ice for concession stands, and from that to being able to sit next to Don Canham and Archie Griffin in a CCHA meeting. I mean, you got to be ready to do it all. Although those guys, I think, put their pants on one leg at a time too, but or at least Canham did. He doesn't anymore. But kind of weird how your mind kind of wanders, isn't it? That's why I wrote stuff down. I think all those things, Zeke. I think particularly important will be to never forget that you may be the one and only advocate for this program, and somebody's got to do that, and so you need to be ready to do that.
Tom, what has this community meant to you and your family? You mentioned how many years you spent here and your kids have grown up here. Just talk in general about the community and what it's meant to you and your family.
Well, maybe I'd ask Blake that question.
All right, Blake.
You know, I'm sure I'm probably the only one in this room that can say the story this way, but I'm sure that I'm the only one that came here and thought they'd be here 3 years and then would be gone. Yeah. I wish I had $1 for every time I heard someone say that's the way it happened for me as well. But we really did believe that. We thought we'd be here for a couple years and get some experience and move on. You know, as a high school teacher when I came here, so I really thought I'd go back into a high school setting. And I don't know, maybe 28 years later that still might happen. I don't know, but it's been a tremendous community, in my opinion, to raise a family. It's been a great opportunity for my wife and I to both work and feel comfortable raising our kids. I can still remember, I think back to those football teams of the 90s, and both Blake and Matt were just little guys. They were ball boys for Otterbein, and I had to explain to him what some of the words were that Keith used occasionally in our practices, or I'd tell him to forget that word. You know, it's just been a wonderful, wonderful community to raise kids, and I don't think this community is one that everybody can feel comfortable in, but it sure was a good spot for us, and it's been home for us, and they'll always be, whether we're here or not, they'll always be a big piece of our hearts that'll be here in Big Rapids. And you know, I think I said to Pat Curry 2 years ago, have I made it yet? And he said, what do you mean? I said, well, if I cross the line after 25 years that I'm considered a townie, and he goes, nah, you got a ways to go yet. I kind of feel like a townie at this point, good, bad, or indifferent, and for that I'm proud.
What are some of the qualities in Coach Becker do you think will suit her well in this kind of a position? That you can say on the record.
Can I be honest? Well, first of all, she's resilient. And that'll be very important for her to hang in there. And you know, one of the greatest qualities I think Keri has is she's not afraid to tell you what she thinks. And that's a great quality. And I've seen it on the field. I've seen it in the dugout. I don't think her players always probably like it as much as I do, but I think in the long run that's really important. So I think that's a key thing. She's an incredibly hard worker, so in spite of what we're asking her to do, which probably is a little insurmountable in some respects, I have no qualms or questions that she'll get the job done. She's honest, and that's really important. You need to have honesty in this position. You need to tell people when they're doing a great job, and you need to let them know when they're not. And it doesn't have to be vocal, and it doesn't have to be out in public, but you still need to have those kinds of conversations. And I know that she won't back down from that. So maybe I should probably stop right there.
Keri, is being an administrator in this fashion something that you wanted to do for some time, or is it just a matter of the opportunity presenting itself?
I think it's the opportunity presenting itself. I'm a coach through and through. Will continue to be a coach, with that being my first priority. I think this is a good opportunity for me to see